Oh my God.
Is
I
that
just
you
saw it.
behind the black and white and rabbit ears?
Yes. And you know what? I
What?
just saw that there was more than one shot at the grassy knoll. The same way on Saturday, there was more than one shooter. The crooker wasn't the only shooter. I'm so sad. I'm so
Oh
upset.
my God, that Wayback Machine.
Yeah, wait. Hold it.
That Wayback Machine of yours.
Yeah, and that's how we saw it back then.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do you remember when JFK was assassinated? Do you remember your emotion?
It was scary. I was in second grade, and the biggest thing was the intercom, the announcement coming over the intercom, and
In
then
school.
seeing my two teachers crying.
Yep.
That was it. And then
huge.
Then they were ordered to, send us home, but many of us, we couldn't cross the big streets, with the trains and all of that. So they crossed us. Then once we got to that side, we just had about a block to walk. But I still remember the stores with black drapes. You know the drapes that they put on a campaign on a train?
Yep.
It's like a fan, all black. And everybody crying. It was different then.
It was. Different. Everybody was upset. The only thing that comes close is emotion-wise.
Yeah.
9/11. Not the same. Well, actually, it's the same circumstances. It's lies in both and manipulation in both cases, but we won't go there right now. But I'm telling you, I was different. It was
different.
It was. Things literally shut down, stopped. Everybody was
for days.
Yes.
Because actually, remember, we only had these small black and white TVs. Yep. Then everybody, whoever came over, you had neighbors in your house. That was 1963, and this went on for days. But it was humble. Do you understand? Like it was really, really different. But again, I sit back and I think of what we were told. See, even back then, you would never think that the media was crooked. Even
no.
back then.
And I'm not so sure they were. I think there was more honesty then, but I think they were fed a line of garbage. And I don't think they knew that the way they know now, where it's Project Mockingbird. Everybody's got the same thing on the teleprompter and nobody uses their own brains.
And everything was quick, because I actually remember seeing Jacqueline Kennedy, the First Lady, on the plane. They brought Kennedy's body in. A lot of this was very scary, and then when we watched on the TV, wasn't it Jack Ruby that killed Sirhan, right? We saw him kill him. This wasn't, like it was recorded. I remember on the corner of the TV of seeing, back then TVs were black and white. They had the hat, men in suits, all look older, and just seeing a gun. That's I remember. And I remember my sister screaming and my mother, "Gun, there's a gun." Like, it was very scary. And then he was shot. Next thing you know, Jacqueline Kennedy is still in her, outfit and standing by Lyndon Johnson and, swearing him in. They made sure of that.
Yep. And, most of us had never seen a gun, at least a handgun. We knew what rifles are from hunting and stuff like that. None of us had ever seen a handgun. And none of us, well, not none, but the majority of us had never seen somebody kill somebody in front of us on TV.
Exactly. Or to see the president, and in those days, and that was the last time they had an open car.
Correct.
So I don't know what they were even thinking back then, because that whole area, it was all buildings. I don't know, somebody back then, but again, we didn't know because we didn't want to think that. I know my parents probably said, no, no, the Secret Service dropped the ball or the FBI, so it wasn't, it was over the years when I actually started reading books. Matter of fact, one good book was Jacqueline Kennedy with Clint Hill, and he was the one, Clint Hill was the one that jumped on the back of the car.
Correct.
To protect. Now we're hearing different, with that whole thing. And now we know why Jacqueline Kennedy did not want John Kennedy Jr. to get into any politics. I'm still going to say that.
Yep, absolutely. So on that note, going forward, I had mentioned at the end of the last segment, we've got Kamala Harris, that's now the anointed one, being oiled up and slid right into the position.
She's used to that. Now, she must have slid in a lot of things, so
yeah, she had an extra jar.
That's right. She knows what to do. And that's why somebody wrote me today and said, Deb, technically if something happens and they get him out, she's going to be the 48th president. Well, I mean 47th, right? If she replaces him, and let's just say she's running for 47, I said, well, 47 and a half. You get it?
Yeah. I think technically,
because what will happen is technically it's true. If they remove Joe Biden, right, and they put her in, won't you say that that's the 40? Now she's the 47th president, and the election's going to be 48? Because how do you take her away from? Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing she'll be the 46th quarter. Or an eighth or whatever it is.
Well, all right, then she'll be 46 and a half because
she'll be 46 and a half.
Right.
And then we'll have the new election and then we'll have the new 47. And, she couldn't make it onto the debate stage the first time. She couldn't make it past the first state and had to drop out. So tell me, how's she going to get 81 million votes?
Well, listen, remember when I said to you, people need to look into her husband, okay? He's not this quiet little, nerd, okay? He is very much involved, okay? He has a lot of money, and from what I read, is that this was their plan to begin with, okay? I believe it even more now, that even when they stole the election, okay? And this whole of selecting the B-man was for a good reason. This was the way that they were also going to be able to take over the second term. They knew he wasn't going to go 2 terms.
Oh, in 2019, the beginning of 2019, when he started campaigning from the basement, the reason he campaigned from the basement was not COVID. That was a very, very good excuse, well-timed. It was because he had Alzheimer's. And, I'm sorry.
Or Parkinson's.
I am sorry if he has Alzheimer's and Parkinson's because they all used him. People throw around elder abuse. No, that was abuse of the worst kind. They mistreated this man with these potentially 2 diseases to line their pockets, to raise themselves in power. And you want any one of those? And let's not forget that Kamala has lied for him for 3.5 years. Actually longer, so plus the campaigning time. Oh, he's perfectly fit. He's strong. He's sharp. And
she has to own up to these policies because technically with them lying, they pushed his policies.
Yeah.
Okay. So she does have an agenda. She has to explain all of that. But you see what's going to happen? She's going to continue to bash President Trump and talk about Agenda 2025, which is totally lies. President Trump denounced it.
Yep.
The thing is that President Trump, I think President Trump should ignore her, to be honest with you. going
Yeah.
forward. He needs to ignore them, focus on on the policies. But I'm still hoping that they're all going to get caught. I don't know. I just feel that way, that something has to break with this. Like, Jocelyn, I can't picture every day people, conservative news is coming out and all we keep hearing is this. We watched a committee hearing. I still think she already got her punishment because this is what happens. We watch them all go to the committee, and for me, that's their punishment. See what I mean? With the 5 minutes here, the good talking points, you had Senator Macy call her a piece of shit, she's full of shit, right on there. And I just hoping that something's going to happen and they're going to come in, and actually what they're doing is election interference.
Oh, yeah.
This is another form of election interference. You cannot, the way I look at it is we have a race, okay? He was the one that was going to be. If a person drops out of any race, isn't the norm? Well, you lost. Now, President Trump wins. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. They're going to get so tied up in legal battle. Okay, I forgot the group. There's a Democratic group that's going to sue them.
Yep.
Okay,
Well,
so that's going to be the next couple of months.
Well, if you think about it, so, they're all blabbering on about democracy. So let me repeat for the 10 billionth time, we are a republic. We are not a democracy, but they have been selling we're a democracy since 1913 so that they could get in all the crapola and the communism and the DEI and LMNOP and a boy's a girl and a girl's a boy and a dog is a cat is a dog. So they could bring in all this crapola. Whether you like Democrats or not, let's grow up and stop with the emotions. The Democratic voters went to the primary.
That's what I said.
They selected their
14 million.
They selected him. Right. So now all of a sudden he steps down and automatically, well, it's Kamala. No, I'm sorry. There needs to be another primary.
Exactly.
And Democratic voters need to select who they want.
Right.
But this is perfect proof of how they lie about we are a democracy. They just spat in their own drink.
And then they're going to go to this convention, and this is where they are full of crap, okay, with the democracy shit. They're full of crap when they argue with us when we want voter ID and all of that, and their motto is everybody got to vote. Oh, really? Everybody got to vote. Remember Stacey Abrams? No, every time with blacks are going to be suppressed in voting. Look who's doing that now.
They are.
They're suppressing every because what's going to happen is their vote is going to get changed by some bureaucrat a la carte, whether it's Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. This is what they're going to do. And again, I still think something's going to happen. It's not going to go their way. And that's going to be it. And then the election goes to Trump.
Well, something's got to give. Something's got to give because, Joey B stepped down.
Yeah.
Okay. But they selected somebody else. And their excuse is, well, she's the vice president. She's the logical choice. Well, no, it's up to the Democratic voters. That's why we have primaries.
Right.
That's why we have an electoral college. That's why we have a Democratic National Convention and a Republican National Convention. So the delegates can select or nominate who they want because they allegedly are representing we the people, which they're actually not, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We're just following what the rules are, et cetera, et cetera. So they've now taken away what the delegates at the National Convention, in addition to all the Democratic voters that chose Joey B.
Yeah. And what about all their money that they put in? See what I mean?
Oh, well, she got $81 million in 24 hours. If you come to the after show at 10 o'clock on Rumble, Wild Will's going to talk about where that $81 million came from. It will
The
blow
same place the
your
81 million votes came from. There's both 81 million votes.
Funny how they've got the same numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let me do a quick break, and then we're going to come back. I got a video and a picture that we can talk about. So let's go to a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay. All right, that's our girl. That's
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. That's our gal.
I just want to tell you something quick, because at this age, I might forget. Now you see, what's going to happen now when they notice that her numbers aren't up? See what they're developing? They did this because of his numbers being down. So is that going to be a new president they're setting, that in future elections, that as soon as they see their candidate numbers down, let's switch them up?
Yep.
What's going to happen in these next 3 months?
Yep.
When her numbers might be down, or the media is going to claim they're higher than Trump. See?
Correct. I mean, anything's out there, and we, like you said, we follow Trump, but first and foremost, we follow God, Yahweh. We follow God.
Yep.
Family, country, Trump. And they all come together. We have to stop looking at these nutcases, absolute nutcases, probably 10 o'clock sweet things. So let me show you this video number 4 and get your reaction to this, please, Chris.
I don't mean to laugh like it was sad, but you know what I called them? I wanted to know. I opened the phone and I said, hello, is this the Secret Service for the Wizard of Oz? I need 3 munchkins.
So let me talk you through this. I'm going to talk you through it, and then I'm going to have Chris play it again, because it took me a couple of times. I knew something was off. Number one, I taught ballet for years and years and years. Know a lot about choreography, so do you. So first off, I'm going to say to all you people, look at the choreography. Once you get past those 3 Keystone Cops, or at least the 2 of them, Keystone Cops, and that absolute mess, I want you to change your focus. So while we're looking at it, change your focus from them sort of on the left middle to the right, and there's a guy standing right in front of the truck. And so he's, to us, he's like this. He's got our back to us, and he's right in front of the truck. And as they all look around, and they start, okay, you guys walk off with the beast, with the car.
Yeah.
He's in front of the truck, and he gives the signal, come on, guys. And you will see from the side of the truck, the army guys rush out. And I was like, holy moly. So we got the dance of the 3 chickie poos. We got the looking around. We got the chickie who can't find her holster. Honest to God, I've had my arm reconstructed 7 times from an assault, and I can find the freaking holster. Blindfolded. She can't, shoves it in, and then, gotta look for the bad guys. They got their heads on a swivel. Well, you know what? I'm surprised your heads didn't fall off. Then they're walking. Where the hell was the ambulance? Where was everybody else? Just saying. But then I started looking, and I went, what the hell is that guy doing? And he is the producer. And as soon as the car and them get to this part, the Army guys come through. I was like, what the hell? Why weren't they just blasting through? Play that again, Chris. You guys are not going to believe this. Watch it. Did you see it?
Bring in the net army. Come on, guys. Step to it.
The guy with a, so number one, there's no guy in front of the truck. And you can see, I mean, I'm not going to say they split the screens. I'm just saying they shortened it up. I'm not going to go that far.
That was really.
So you don't see the guy in front of the truck till a certain point. Okay. But then all of a sudden he's there with his backpack and he goes, come on. And the Army guys come out. You're never going to be able to unsee that again.
And you know what gets me is the fact now more when I see that, more I know that this was a setup. And you know what she did? Okay. And again, I'm not putting down any woman that's a cop or anything else, but you know what? They knew that by putting them in, he was still going to be a target, because when they're supposed to be running, come on, Trump is 6'3", you know, Jocelyn,
yep.
Okay? 6'3", that's even an insult. And you know something? Yes, I see that picture he took. There's a part of me that I wish she wasn't in it, you know, because it really annoys me how he's over her. You know what I mean? When technically they are supposed to be able to block him if bullets were flying.
Yep.
And, you know, it's really, really sad. Like, we can laugh about it, but something was wrong with this. And you know what? They need to bring them in and understand what happened that day. Jill Biden, she's part of it, okay? Jill Biden was having an event, okay? So what did she couldn't even answer the truth when they were asking her. Cheeto couldn't answer the truth. Did you lower President Trump's detail? And they did. And what should have happened is those women should have been with Joe Biden. Okay?
Jill,
yeah, with Jill Biden at her event.
Because of height.
Because she had an event. Yeah, and that's what should have happened. But I got to tell you this, that we're talking about this, what I found very strange is when she was talking yesterday, or right before, she thanked, what's her name that died? Sheila Jackson?
Oh, Sheila Jackson Lee, yep, from Texas.
Yeah, well, you want to know what? She thanked them, but understand something. She's been also over the Secret Service. I found that even more strange, and I'm going to tell you why. Just go back, and who probably she's friends with is Benny Thompson. Benny Thompson was on the J6 committee, right? Well, what did he want to do 3 weeks ago or a month ago? He wrote a bill to take away President Trump.
Correct.
So when I heard her, okay, she passed away, right? But then when she said it, I said, and she made that point. If you go and look at Cheadle's statement, she thanked her for being part of her service with the Secret Service. Come on, that's it right there. Knowing Sheila Jackson, look what she did when, what was it again, when she had these, remember when she handed an envelope? We caught her handing an envelope for another episode and she was involved in. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was handed, something happened again. And when the truth came out, you saw her handing an envelope. She had something to do with the ballots, okay, also.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. Give me the list of those who didn't. is the
Right.
bigger thing. But I mean, Jill had something going on. I forget who the third person was, but they had 3 people in Pennsylvania on the same day. So they had to split the Secret Service. So they cut down Trump's Secret Service and gave
At
him
the same time. At the same time.
She should have said no.
Well,
You
here's
know,
the thing.
but they didn't.
She shouldn't be over higher than a president.
Nope.
Okay? It doesn't matter that he's not a sitting president. And what about she's not a sitting president either?
Correct.
See?
But
you understand what I'm talking about. Now it makes sense. If Sheila Jackson was in cahoots with Benny Thompson, whatever his name is, because he was the one that wanted to, with Liz Cheney and all of them, they wanted Trump to be, listen, they thought he's going to jail. They wanted him to get killed in jail. Imagine this. No Secret Service. And now, I got to be honest with you. I never felt like I couldn't trust them.
Yep.
But could you imagine now, if this ever happened to President Trump and he went to jail, they'd be in on it.
Correct. And so Will just said, Will said it was the Kavanaugh hearing with the envelope.
That's it. Thank you, that's it.
Yeah.
That's when you saw her giving the thing.
Yep. I mean, it's disgusting, but I think there were 11 or 12 people that signed that bill of Benny Johnson to remove Secret Service from Trump so that when he went to jail.
Because he's a felon. And you know what? These people are idiots because Trump is not a convicted felon. He wasn't even sentenced.
Correct.
It's sad. It really is.
Sad. Let's go to picture number 10, please, Chris. So, here we're talking about, there's been a lot of talk, Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, a whole bunch of people been talking about birthright citizenship. And, forever and ever and ever, they've been saying that if you're born in the United States, you're an American, 100%. Well, that's not true if your parents are not American citizens. You do not get automatic, you're an anchor baby. And
is she a doctor?
I don't know, but I know she's an anchor baby.
Yeah.
And if you look at this birth certificate, her parents were not U.S. citizens. They were foreign students. At the time of her birth, she was the daughter of non-citizens. That makes her an anchor baby. She's not eligible to hold the office of president, let alone vice president. And this happens over and over and over again. And it's in the Constitution, but it's clearly spelled out in foundational law, common law, which they don't look at. So, here they are trying to shove her down our throat like they shoved Obama down our throat. She spent most of her time in Canada. I mean, what more do you want? It's just everything is a lie. And it makes me sick. And here we are again. About birth certificates.
Jocelyn, the truth came out 3 years later about Barack Obama. When he was running in 2008, they found that he was supposed to have like all these signatures.
Yep.
And there's a video that I saw where you see the guys going to these people. Did you sign? And they said, no, we didn't sign that. So in those papers, somebody forged over 200. And if that came out, he would not have been president. He wouldn't have been able to run in the primary. You see who we see all these things, but nothing gets done.
Correct. And so the time is coming, the reckoning needs to come, because I don't see how we can go forward. And I know, Canadian Carly and Will and a whole bunch of people, Frosty, all the smart people, that have a different lane from me. I don't mean that, we're not smart, but a different lane, smart in what they know, have said straight out, I don't think we're going to have an election. And at the time, I'm like, how do we not have an election? Like, I get it, but then I don't get it, because how would you prevent it? But what we're looking at right now, they've blown up their own ideal of democracy. They're totally blowing up, the republic. They're putting in people right, left, and center. They're taking people out, putting people in, lying here, lying there. This one disappears, this one, this. I mean, and we have all the knowledge. We have it all. All right, let's put it on the table and let's stop this crapola. charge,
You know what might be
arrest,
now?
prosecute these
right.
people, get it done, and do it through military tribunals, because we do not have a judicial branch anymore.
But could it be now that when we're hearing there might not be an election, that could be for the fact of the Democrats? Do you get what's going to happen? Just think about what I just said, what I read today about a Democratic group, and it's not just BLM. So if they're holding all of that up, guess what else is going to get held up? Probably the election.
Yep.
And then if by miracle, okay, because I still think the Brunson case is out there, okay, that could happen.
Yep.
And that might be, maybe not having an election to some people might be a bad thing. And in some ways, the truth, listen, the truth has to come out.
Yep.
Because it will. And it might be a blessing at that time if all these cases come out, because they're going to get sued. I heard it before I was coming on, and it's going to be massive.
Oh, it's going to be huge.
They're breaking every rule.
So,
and go ahead.
So here's the thing. So the Brunson case is still out there. It's up in the Supreme Court. We have got patriotic, incredible citizens who are pro se. They're not lawyers. And there are in every state across the United States. We've got at least 10 in the state of New Hampshire that I know of. And we're all fighting for voter integrity. And we're following what the Supreme Court says. We all have our own lawsuits. There is not one lawyer, not one, for any of the pro se litigants across the United States that will stand with us, because they're told they're going to lose their license. They've been threatened. They'll be disbarred. You know, they're going to lose their Royal Esquire BAR designation. That's why I said we don't have the courts. We don't have the lawyers. It really is the good old boys club. And we're out here having to follow and all of their rules that they made up, because they have all these extra rules. We're having to pay for everything ourselves, do all the work ourselves. We have no help. We're working with each other. We go to the courts and they go, oh no, we don't need 5 copies. We need 10 copies. And it's got to be on 60-pound paper. And the front page of this one has to be the blue. And the front of this paper has to be white. And then you got to bind it. It's got to be plastic. It's got to be the spiral thingies and blah, 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 blah. And oh, by the way, you have to hand deliver it. So there we are driving down to Boston with 20 copies that we walk in all by ourselves to the court, you know, and you're looking at all these lawyers and like, oh, who are you? I'm pro se, asshole, move over, because you're not helping us. We're doing all of this ourselves, trying to figure out their rules and regulations, you know, and they're putting everything in our way. Oh, well, you know, we try to, the word is not help the pro se litigants, but we try, the judges say, you know, we try to give them a little bit of leeway, or did you mean, because they know we have not gone to law school. But nowhere in the Constitution does it say that we cannot represent ourselves and that we cannot protect ourselves when nobody else, no legislators, no politicians, no lawyers, no courts, nobody will stand with us and stand with the Constitution. So across the United States, we have got pro se litigants doing the job that none of them will do. And who's standing behind us? Nobody. Who's helping us pay the bills? Nobody. Who's standing shoulder to shoulder with us? Nobody. It's just us guys. It's Stiletto, it's D, it's Wild Will, it's JM, it's me. You know, a very small group, and we're doing all of this ourselves. So can you imagine? That's what Trump needs to know. He needs to know who every one of us are, because we're fighting for the entire United States side by side with him, but with no lawyers and no help.
Yep. I got to say something with this, the Brunson case, and I don't know if you heard it. And, you know, like I sometimes search things out. I saw a video, and matter of fact, it was from Nino. You know Nino?
Yep.
Okay. He had this guy on who came on very quick and said the Brunson case was already decided and in favor of the Brunson. So I'm like, Wonder if that makes any sense, because all of a sudden, the last thing I saw on the Brunson is when Lara Logan did her video with them. You know, she did that. And then I just don't, I want to believe it, you know what I mean? Because even if you go and look, something is not jiving there. Are they waiting? I have a feeling they're waiting until the time, because the thing is, they're waiting for the time, because I heard, I don't know if I heard it or read it, but for some reason, Soda Mayor, you call her?
Yep.
She goes and every once in a while, they find her crying in her chambers. Now, why would she be crying? Because maybe she knows the truth of that case, how they voted. Common sense with the Brunson case, that case should be 9-0.
Absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. So is it the fact that she knows that, you know, that she had to vote for the Constitution and people are going to be mad? Because every time we hear it's not going to be an election, I get these feelings that Trump is going to be reinstated, because, Jocelyn, the truth has to come out. You know, we're the greatest country. History books cannot go forward knowing that there was this election stolen and we're just going to move on and never correct it.
Yeah.
For the memories of our forefathers and everybody that fought for this country, we know what happened. Every day you go on X, you see another thing about Arizona. You see about Georgia. You see about this.
Yep.
And I feel this way. I don't believe that President Trump would let that happen. That everybody said, well, yeah, it was stolen, but we got to move forward. If they continue to do that, imagine this in the future, idiots that decide and read about all of us, because we're going to be in those books, and comes up and says, oh, look at that. They stole an election in 2020. Let's see if it was ever. Hey, guess what? We could do the same shit.
Right, because no one was punished, no one was caught.
That's right.
And so that's why it all has to come out, and all this has to be exposed before this election, because there was so much.
And we also have to be exposed who's running the country now, before this election. And I feel that with all the craziness that's happening, what should really happen and throw them off is call for an election right away.
Could be, yeah. Well, but the problem is we've got the primaries coming up for the Senate and the Congress, and so that's what's in the way right now.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, I want to thank you for coming on. We got to keep this going as a regular thing, because we just, we blow everything wide open and let people know what's going on. So I want to say thank you, and
just keep the prayers coming. We need prayers, because everything's in God's hands. I say it all the time.
Oh, it is. That's what we have to do, and use discernment. Thank you, my friend. Blessings to you.
I love you guys. Love everybody.
Love you.
Thank you. And remember, guys, support the channel. Support
Absolutely.
You guys.
Stand behind everybody.
That's
All right, everybody. So that's Miss Deplorable Deb, and I hope you enjoyed everything. Lots of information, great insight from her. And I just want to invite you, 10 o'clock. Join me, Justice for All with Jocelyn on Street Talk, Real Talk. And it'll be 10 o'clock, and we'll have Wild Will dropping some information, Stiletto and everybody. And find out exactly what's going on. Yeah, thank you, sweet thing. Exactly. And I hope you enjoyed the outro, and I will see you next week. Don't forget, we've got Stiletto, Street Talk, Real Talk, Thursday, 8 o'clock. Be there.
He is the one. If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this: never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit, you'll want to go home. Just never quit. I've seen so many brilliant people. They gave up in life. They were totally brilliant. They were top of their class. They were the best students. They were the best of everything. They gave up. I've seen others who really didn't have that talent or that ability, and they're among the most successful people today in the world because they never quit and they never gave up. So just remember that. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you.